Hello viewers, welcome back to Medical Tube. I hope everybody is doing very well and safe. Today we are going to discuss some very important MCQs of biology. So without further delay, let's start our video. Question number 1 is, which of the following is a trace element? Option A, hydrogen. Option B, copper. Option C, oxygen. Option D, carbon. So the correct option is option B. Copper is basically a trace element. Coming to question number 2. In catabolic reaction, dash freeze the dash. Option A, fatty acids, polysaccharides. Option B, proteins, amino acids. Option C, lipids, glucose. Option D, none of these. So in catabolic reactions, proteins are broken down into amino acids. So the correct option is option B. Question number 3. Which of the following is a chemical link between catabolism and anabolism? Option A, AMP. Option B, ADP. Option C, ATP. Option D, all of these. So basically ATP is the chemical link between catabolism and anabolism. So the correct option is option C. Question number 4. Which one is the basic element found in all organic compounds? Option A, oxygen. Option B, carbon. Option C, hydrogen. Option D, all of these. So basically all of these are the basic elements found in all the organic compounds. So the correct option is option D. Question number 5. Interconversion of carbohydrates, proteins and lipids in living cells are an example of option A, coordinated catabolic activities. Option B, coordinated anabolic activities. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of these. So basically the interconversion of carbohydrates, proteins and lipids in living cells are an example of both the coordinated catabolic and coordinated anabolic activities. The correct option is option C. Question number 6. How are high energy phosphate bonds broken down in ATP? Option A, anabolism. Option B, catabolism. Option C, hydrolysis. Option D, all of these. So basically, high energy phosphate bonds in ATP are broken down by hydrolysis. So the correct option is option C. Question number 7. The branch of biology which deals with the study of chemical compounds and the chemical processes in living organisms is called option A, chemistry. Option B, molecular biology. Option C, biochemistry. Option D, both A and B. So the correct option is option C, biochemistry. Basically, biochemistry deals with the study of chemical compounds and the chemical processes in living organisms. Question number 8 is, reactions in which simple substances are combined to form complex substances are called option A, metabolic reactions. Option B, catabolic reactions. Option C, anabolic reactions. And option D, both B and C. So basically the correct option is option C. Anabolic reactions are the ones in which simple substances are combined to form complex substances. Question number 9. Specific heat of vaporization of water is option A, 774 kilocalories per kg. Option B, 874. Option C, 574. Option D, 674. So the specific heat of vaporization of water is 574 kilocalories per kg. So the correct option is option C. Question number 10. What percentage of water is found in brain cells? Option A, 50. Option B, 80. Option C, 85. Option D, 90. So basically 85% of water is found in brain cells. So the correct option is option C. Question number 11 is the attraction between water molecules and cell wall of xylem is termed as option A cohesion, option B tension, option C adhesion, option D imbibition. So the correct option is option C. Adhesion basically refers to the attraction between water molecules and cell wall of xylem. Question number 12. In living organisms, the lubricant which provides protection against damage resulting from friction is option A water, option B carbohydrates, option C lipids, option D proteins. So basically, water is the lubricant in living organisms that provides protection against damage resulting from friction. So the correct option is option A. Question number 13. The number of calories required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water from 15 to 16 degrees Celsius is called option A specific heat of vaporization, option B specific heat capacity, option C caloric heat, option D both A and B. So basically the correct option is option B specific heat capacity. Question number 14. Liposomes are option A drug carriers, option B water in middle, option C sac of phospholipids, option D all ABC. So basically all of them are the characteristics of liposomes. The correct option is option D. Question number 15. Glycogen is an example of option A phospholipid, option B polysaccharides, option C carbohydrates, option D both B and C. So basically glycogen is an example of polysaccharides. So the correct option is option B. Question number 16. What percentage of glucose is normally found in human blood? Option A 0.008, option B 0.0008, option C 0.018, option D 0.08. So 0.08% of glucose is normally found in human blood. Coming to our next question, the covalent bond between two monosaccharide subunits is called option A phosphodiester bond, option B peptide bond, option C ionic bond, and option D glycosidic bond. So students, the covalent bond between two monosaccharide subunits is called as glycosidic bond. So the correct option is option D. Question number 18. Which of the following cannot be hydrolyzed? Option A polysaccharides, option B monosaccharides, option C oligosaccharides, and option D sucrose. So students, monosaccharides cannot be further hydrolyzed. The correct option is option B. Coming to our next question. Animal starch is called option A cellulose, option B agar, option C glycogen, and option D chitin. So the correct option is option C. Glycogen is basically called as the animal starch. Question number 20. It is not a monosaccharide. Option A fructose, option B glucose, option C sucrose, option D all are monosaccharides. So basically sucrose is not a monosaccharide. The correct option is option C. Coming to our next question. Question number 21 is sucrose is present in option A sugarcane, option B milk, option C almonds, option D none. So basically sucrose is a sugar which is present in sugarcane. The correct option is option A. Question number 22. Dash is valuable for diabetic control. Option A green vegetable, option B grapes, option C rice, option D all of these. Basically for diabetic control, green vegetables are very much valuable. So the correct option is option A. Coming to our next question, glycogen is most abundantly present in option A liver, option B muscles, option C kidneys, option D both A and B. So students, glycogen is basically most abundantly present in both the liver and muscles. So the correct option is option D. Question number 24 is, which of the following is soluble in hot water? Option A starch, option B glycogen, option C amylose, option D amylopectin. So students, amylose is soluble in hot water. So the correct option is option C. Question number 25. Glucose is also called as option A dextrose, option B lymph sugar, option C grape sugar, option D none. So glucose is also called as dextrose. So the correct option is option A. Question number 26. Glycosidic bond is present between option A monosaccharides, option B carbon atoms, option C amino acids, and option D fatty acids. So glycosidic bond is present between the monosaccharides. So the correct option is option A. Question number 27. Which of the following is a trisaccharide? Option A mannose, option B galactose, option C maltose, option D raffinose. So students, raffinose is the example of trisaccharide. So the correct option is option D. Question number 28 is, glycogen on hydrolysis gives option A glucose, option B galactose, option C fructose, option D ribose. So whenever a glycogen is broken down through hydrolysis, it gives glucose. So the correct option is option A. Question number 29. Cellulose on hydrolysis yields option A alpha D glucose, option B alpha L glucose, option C beta D glucose, option D beta L glucose. So cellulose on hydrolysis gives beta D glucose. So the correct option is option C. Coming to question number 30. Carbohydrate catabolism is concerned with the fate of option A ATP, option B amino acid, option C glucose, option D all of these. So carbohydrate catabolism always gives us glucose. So the correct option is option C. Question number 31. A complex substance which on hydrolysis yields polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone subunits is called option A lipid, option B carbohydrate, option C protein, and option D all of these. The correct option is option B. Carbohydrates on hydrolysis yield polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone subunits. Question number 32. Which one gives blue color? Option A starch, option B glycogen, option C cellulose, option D none of these. So basically starch has the blue color. The correct option is option A. Coming question number 33 is, to synthesize 10 gram of glucose, how much energy is essentially required? Option A 727 kilocalories, option B 712, option C 717, option D 719. So basically 717 kilocalories of energy is required to synthesize 10 gram of glucose. The correct option is option C. Question number 34 is, glycogen is present in all body except Option A, brain. Option B, heart. Option C, blood. Option D, tissues. So basically, glycogen is present in all the human body except blood. It is not present in blood. The correct option is option C. Question number 35 is alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage is present in option A, maltose, option B, sucrose, option C, cellulose, option D, cellobiose. So alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage is present in maltose. So the correct option is option A. Question number 36 is the 5 carbon sugar present in the heart muscle is option A, lactose, option B, ribose, option C, xylose, option D, glucose. So the sugar which is present in heart muscle is lactose. The correct option is option A. Question number 37. Which is true regarding open chain structure of glucose? Option A, there are 6 asymmetric carbons. Option B, there are 5 asymmetric carbons. Option C, there are 4 asymmetric carbons. And option D, there are 3 asymmetric carbons. So the correct option is option C. There are basically 4 asymmetric carbons in the open chain structure of glucose. Question number 38. Rarely occurring monosaccharides observed in some bacteria is option A, tetrosis, option B, hexosis, option C, pentosis, option D, triosis. So tetroses are the monosaccharides which are observed in some bacteria. So the correct option is option A. Coming to our next question. In the molecular formula Cx water Y, the value of X ranges from option A, 1000, option B, 2000, option C, 3 to 7000, option D, 3000 and more. The correct option is option C, 3 to 7000. Question number 40. How many monosaccharide units do oligosaccharides yield upon hydrolysis? Option A, 2, option B, 5, option C, 10, option D, all of these. So basically the correct option is option D, all of these. Question number 41. Which one of the following biomolecules is most abundant in animals? Option A, starch, option B, cellulose, option C, glycogen, option D, all of these. So basically glycogen is most abundant in animals. The correct option is option C. Question number 42 is this is a non-reducing sugar. Option A, maltose, option B, sucrose, option C, cellobiose, option D, lactose. So the correct option is option B. Sucrose is basically a non-reducing sugar. Question number 43. What type of atom is carbon atom? Option A, divalent, option B, monovalent, option C, trivalent, option D, tetravalent. So the correct option is option D, tetravalent. Carbon atom basically forms 4 bonds. That is why it is tetravalent. Question number 44. Which bond provides stability to complex carbohydrate molecule? Option A, carbon hydrogen bond, option B, carbon nitrogen bond, option C, carbon oxygen bond, option D, carbon carbon bond. So the carbon oxygen bond provides stability to complex carbohydrate molecules. The correct option is option C. Question number 45. Which of the following constitute large organic molecules? Option A, cellulose, option B, glucose, option C, amino acids, option D, all of these. So basically cellulose constitutes large organic molecules. So the correct option is option A. Question number 46. These are crystalline, water soluble, forming pyranose rings. Option A monosaccharides, option B polysaccharides, option C oligosaccharides, option D disaccharides. So basically monosaccharides are crystalline, water soluble, and they form the pyranose rings. The correct option is option A. Question number 47. When the glucose level in blood comes down, glucose is synthesized from dash. Option A fats, option B glycogen, option C amino acids, option D DNA. So whenever the glucose level in blood comes down, glucose is always synthesized from glycogen. So the correct option is option B. Question number 48. Which are the most physiologically significant disaccharides? Option A maltose, option B sucrose, option C lactose, option D all of these. So basically all of these are the most physiologically significant disaccharides. So the correct option is option D. Question number 49. Which of the following is the most complex sugar? Option A monosaccharides, option B oligosaccharides, option C polysaccharides, option D carbohydrates. So basically polysaccharides are the most complex sugars. The correct option is option C. Question number 50. CH2ON is a general formula of option A monosaccharides, option B oligosaccharides, option C polysaccharides, option D carbohydrates. So this is a general formula for monosaccharides. So the correct option is option A. Question number 51. The functional group that best represents ketosis is option A carbonyl group, option B carboxyl group, option C hydroxymethylene, and option D hydrogen hydroxide. So the correct option is option A. Ketones are basically represented by carbonyl group. Question number 52. Unit of carbohydrate is option A monosaccharides, option B amino acids, option C fatty acids, option D all. So basically carbohydrates unit is monosaccharide. So the correct option is option A. Question number 53. Glycogen is present in all body except option A brain, option B tissues, option C heart, option D blood. We have discussed it earlier. Basically glycogen is present in all the human body except blood. So the correct option is option D. Question number 54. The smallest monosaccharide is option A triose, option B pentose, option C tetrose, option D none of these. So basically triose is the smallest monosaccharide. Question number 55. Ribose is a monosaccharide constituent of many dash. Option A enzymes, option B coenzymes, option C vitamins, option D antibiotics. So ribose is basically present in many coenzymes as a monosaccharide constituent. So the correct option is option B. Question number 56. The amino acid not found in proteins is option A beta alanine, option B glutamine, option C tyrosine, option D histidine. So students, beta alanine is not found in the naturally occurring proteins. So the correct option is option A. Question number 57. The high content of which amino acid confers resistance, stability, and insolubility to hairs, nails, and skin? Option A glycine, option B alanine, option C methionine, option D cysteine. So students, cysteine is basically very important for our hairs, nails, and skin. The correct option is option D. Question number 58. Which structure of protein gives information about the folding of a protein? Option A, primary structure. Option B, tertiary structure. Option C, secondary structure. Option D, quaternary structure. So basically, the tertiary structure of proteins gives information about the folding of a protein. So the correct option is option B. Question number 59. The protein contains bonds. Option A, inorganic bonds. Option B, peptide bonds. Option C, glycosidic bonds. Option D, covalent bonds. So the proteins contain peptide bond. The correct option is option B. Question number 60 is, protein constitutes of what percentage of the total dry body weight found in cells? Option A 50, option B 55, option C 40, option D 65. So proteins basically constitute 50% of the total dry weight found in cells. So the correct option is option A. Coming to question number 61. Which structural organization is most common in globular proteins? Option A, primary structure. Option B, secondary structure. Option C, tertiary structure. Option D, quaternary structure. So basically, tertiary structure is most common in globular proteins. So the correct option is option C. Question number 62 is, an enzyme containing two chains of polypeptide has option A, primary structure. Option B, primary and secondary structure. Option C, primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary structure. Option D, it has all structures. So the correct option is option C. Question number 63. Word protein is derived from option A, Latin. Option B, Greek. Option C, Roman. Option D, English. So basically, the protein word is derived from Greek language. So the correct option is option B. Question number 64 is, keratinized epithelium is present in option A, hair, option B, skin, option C, bone, option D, muscle. So basically, our skin contains the keratinized epithelium. The correct option is option B. Coming to question number 65. Which of the molecules is formed by a peptide bond? Option A, ammonia. Option B, iron. Option C, water. Option D, none of the above. So basically, peptide bond forms the protein molecules, which is not present in these options. So the correct option is option D, none of the above. Question number 66. Which of the following is not an amino acid? Option A, histidine. Option B, lactic acid. Option C, glutamic acid. Option D, glycine. So all of them are amino acids except lactic acid. So the correct option is option B. Question number 67. What are the distinguishing features of fibrous proteins? Option A, elastic. Option B, non-crystalline. Option C, disorganized. Option D, both A and B. So basically both A and B are the features of fibrous proteins. Fibrous proteins are elastic and non-crystalline. So the correct option is option D. Question number 68 is, avidin is a protein that option A, binds egg white with biotin. Option B, binds egg white with egg albumin. Option C, both A and B. And option D, this protein does not belong to egg white. So the correct option is option A. Avidin basically binds egg white with biotin? It is present in egg white. Question number 69. The molecular basis of sickle cell anemia was found by option A. F. Sanger, option B. Beadle, option C. Tatum, and option D. Ingram. So basically, Ingram found the molecular basis of sickle cell anemia. So the correct option is option D. Question number 70. What are the main distinguishing features of globular proteins? Option A. Crystalline, option B. Elastic, option C. Functional, option D. Both A and C. So the globular proteins are crystalline and functional. So the correct option is option D, both A and C. Question number 71. Antibodies play important role against microorganisms and other pathogens. To which type of proteins do they belong? Option A, globular, option B, functional, option C, fibrous, option D, both A and B. So basically, antibodies are type of proteins which are both globular and functional. The correct option is option D, both A and B. Question number 72. Proteins are the polymers of option A, amino acids, option B, fatty acids, option C, nucleotides, option D, none of these. So as we all know, proteins are basically made up of amino acids. So the correct option is option A. Question number 73. What type of protein is fibrin? Option A, functional, option B, structural, option C, enzymatic, option D, all of these. So fibrin is basically a structural protein. The correct option is option B. Coming to our next question, the total number of amino acids that have been found in tissues and cells are option A 250, option B 200, option C 20, and option D 170. Basically, 170 amino acids have been found in tissues and cells. So the correct option is option D. Question number 75. What are the distinguishing features of fibrous proteins? Option A, non-crystalline, option B, elastic, option C, disorganized, option D, both A and B. So the fibrous proteins are non-crystalline and elastic. So the correct option is option D, both A and B. Question number 76. An insulin molecule is made up of how many polypeptide chains? Option A 1, option B 2, option C 3, option D 4. So insulin molecule is basically made up of two polypeptide chains. The correct option is option B. Question number 77. It is protein in nature. Option A, fats or cholesterol, option B, ATP, option C, glycogen, option D, ligase. Basically, ligase is protein in nature. It is basically an enzyme, and enzymes are proteins in nature. So the correct option is option D. Question number 78. In glycine, R group of amino acids is replaced by option A, carboxyl group, option B, methylene group, option C, methyl group, option D, none of these. Basically, in glycine, R group of amino acids is replaced by hydrogen atom, which is not present in these options. So the correct option is option D, none of these. Our next question is question number 79. What type of bonding in proteins maintains the integrity of the helical secondary structure? Option A, hydrogen bonds. Option B, ionic bonds. Option C, disulfide linkages. And option D, both A and B. So basically, hydrogen bonds maintains the integrity of the helical secondary structure. So the correct option is option A. Question number 80. How many bonds are in a dipeptide? Option A 1, option B 3, option C 2, option D 4. So basically, dipeptide contains one bond. So the correct option is option A. Our next question is vegetative source of protein is option A egg, option B soybean, option C pulses, option D both B and C. The correct option is option D, both B and C. Question number 82. Which structure of protein gives information about number and sequence of amino acids? Option A, primary structure. Option B, secondary structure. Option C, tertiary structure. Option D, quaternary structure. So the correct option is option A. Primary structure gives the information about number and sequence of amino acids. Question number 83. Globular structure of protein is due to option A, primary structure, option B, secondary structure, option C, tertiary structure, option D, quaternary structure. So the correct option is option C. The globular structure of protein is due to tertiary structure. Question number 84. Most abundant protein in blood is option A, collagen, option B, hemoglobin, option C, actin, option D, rubisco. So basically, the most abundant protein in blood is hemoglobin, which carries oxygen. So the correct option is option B. Question number 85. Abundant protein in human body. Option A, rubisco. Option B, collagen. Option C, cellulose. Option D, albumin. So the most abundant protein in human body is collagen. So the correct option is option B. Question number 86. Coagulated protein is option A, insoluble, option B, non-folded, option C, non-functional, option D, all of above. So basically all of these are the characteristics of coagulated protein. So the correct option is option D. Question number 87. How many types of amino acids form proteins in human body? Option A 25, option B 70, option C 20, option D 400. So basically there are 20 amino acids which form proteins in human body. Out of 170, only 20 amino acids form proteins in human body. So the correct option is option C. Coming to our next question, proteins are polymers of option A, amino acids, option B, fatty acids, option C, nucleotides, option D, none of these. We have discussed it earlier. As we all know, proteins are basically made up of amino acids. So the correct option is option A. Question number 89. Number of essential amino acids is option A 10, option B 20, option C 9, option D 110. So the essential amino acids are basically 9 in number. The correct option is option C. Question number 90. Which of the following is important secondary structure in proteins? Option A, alpha helix. Option B, beta plated sheet. Option C, beta plated sheet parallel. Option D, both A and B. So basically both A and B are the important secondary structure in proteins. The correct option is option D. Question number 91. Enzymes that are integral part of ribosomes are involved in the synthesis of which of the following molecules? Option A, lipids. Option B, proteins. Option C, carbohydrates. Option D, all of these. So basically ribosomes are involved in the synthesis of proteins. So the correct option is option B. Question number 92. A fatty acid is composed of option A, acid group at one end. Option B, acid groups at both ends. Option C, amino group at one end. Option D, amino group at both ends. So the correct option is option A. Fatty acid is composed of acid group at one end. Coming to our next question. A compound produced as a result of a chemical reaction of an alcohol with an acid in which water molecule is released is called option A, monosaccharide. Option B, fatty acid. Option C, nucleic acid. Option D, neutral lipid. So the correct option is option D. Neutral lipid is produced as a result of chemical reaction of an alcohol with an acid in which water molecule is released. Question number 94. Serine is a component of option A, lipids. Option B, hemoglobin. Option C, phospholipid. Option D, waxes. So basically serine is a component that is found in phospholipid. So the correct option is option C. Question number 95 is choline is component of option A, phospholipids. Option B, phosphatidic acid. Option C, terpenoids. Option D, waxes. So basically choline is a component of phospholipids. The correct option is option A. Question number 96. Sterols are option A, lipids. Option B, proteins. Option C, carbohydrates. Option D, all of these. So basically sterols are lipids in nature. The correct option is option A. Question number 97. Steroids are naturally option A, lipoproteins. Option B, proteins. Option C, lipids. Option D, A and B. Basically steroids are lipids in nature. So the correct option is option C. Question number 98. These are properties of lipids. Option A, insoluble in water and soluble in fat solvent. Option B, high energy content. Option C, structural component of cell membrane. Option D, all of these. Basically all of these are properties of lipids. So the correct option is option D. Question number 99. Fatty acids containing 18 carbon atoms and a single double bond are option A, saturated. Option B, unsaturated. Option C, oleic acid. Option D, palmitic acid. So basically oleic acid contains 18 carbon atoms and a single double bond. So the correct option is option C. Question number 100. Which of the following is a phospholipid? Option A, sterol. Option B, cholesterol. Option C, lecithin. Option D, steroid. So basically, lecithin is a phospholipid of all of these. So the correct option is option C. Question number 101. Lipids show solubility in which of the following solvents? Option A, water. Option B, ether. Option C, inorganic solvents. Option D, all solvents. So basically, lipids show solubility in all solvents. The correct option is option D. Question number 102. Lipids have great functional significance in human body. What are the main functions of the lipids? Option A, energy source. Option B, structure of membrane. Option C, mechanical protection. Option D, all of these. So basically all of these are the main functions of lipids in human body. So the correct option is option D. Question number 103. Lecithin contains dash. Option A, ethanolamine. Option B, choline. Option C, serine. Option D, betaine. So basically lecithin contains choline. The correct option is option B. Question number 104. Hydrophilic substances are dash and hydrophobic substances are dash. Option A, water loving, water fearing. Option B, polar, non-polar. Option C, soluble in water, soluble in lipid. And option D, all are correct. So basically the correct option is option D, all are correct options. Hydrophilic substances are basically water loving, polar and soluble in water, while the hydrophobic substances are water fearing, non-polar and soluble in lipids. So D is the correct option. Question number 105. A triglyceride is option A, protein. Option B, nucleic acid. Option C, simple sugar. Option D, lipid. So basically a triglyceride is a lipid. So the correct option is option D. Question number 106. Nitrogenous bases such as choline and serine are significant part of which of the following? Option A, sphingolipids. Option B, phospholipids. Option C, phosphodiester. Option D, none of these. So students, we have discussed this earlier. Choline and serine are basically the significant parts of phospholipids. So the correct option is option B. Question number 107. Saponification number describes dash. Option A, unsaturation in fat. Option B, average molecular weight of fatty acid. Option C, acetyl number. Option D, acid number. So basically saponification number describes acid number. So the correct option is option D. Question number 108. Lipids show solubility in which of the following solvents? Option A, water. Option B, ether. Option C, inorganic solvents. Option D, all solvents. So basically lipids show solubility in ether. So the correct option is option B. Coming to our next question. Essential fatty acids show all the characters except option A, lipotropism. Option B, blood clotting factors. Option C, used for energy production. Option D, none of these. So basically all are the characters of essential fatty acids except blood clotting factors. So the correct option is option B. Question number 110. Fatty acid contains option A, alcohol and esters, option B, carboxylic and alkyl groups, option C, carboxylic group and isoprenoid, option D, phospholipids and alkyl groups. Basically, fatty acid contains carboxylic and alkyl groups. So the correct option is option B. Coming to our next question, question number 111. In water, hydrophobic interactions of phospholipids are option A in heads, option B in tails, option C both A and B, option D none. So the hydrophobic interactions of phospholipids in water are in tails. So the correct option is option B. Question number 112. Liposomes are option A vesicles, option B they have water, option C drug carrier, option D all of the above. So basically all of these are the characteristics of liposomes. So the correct option is option D. Our next question is glycerol is component of option A fatty acids, option B acyl glycerols, option C phospholipids, and option D both B and C. So basically glycerol is a component of acyl glycerols and phospholipids. So the correct option is option D, both B and C. Our next question is oils are option A saturated fatty acids, option B unsaturated fatty acids, option C glycerides with unsaturated fatty acids, option D glycerides with saturated fatty acids. So the correct option is option B. Oils are basically unsaturated fatty acids. Our next question is in contrast to eukaryotic messenger RNA, prokaryotic messenger RNA option A can be polycistronic, option B synthesized with introns, option C can only be monocistronic, and option D has a poly A tail. So the correct option is option A. Prokaryotic messenger RNA can be polycistronic. Question number 116. A sample of RNA is sequenced and found to contain 22% adenine. Which of the following conclusions can also be drawn about the sample? Option A 22% uracil, option B 22% thiamine, option C 22% cytosine, and option D 22% guanine. So the correct option is option A 22% uracil. So the RNA contains the same amount of adenine and uracil because adenine forms with uracil. So the correct option is option A. Our next question is for a protein molecule of 2000 amino acids, the messenger RNA will have a length of how many nucleotides? Option A 3000, option B 2000, option C 6000, option D 5000. So for a protein molecule of 2000 amino acids, the messenger RNA will have a length of 6000 nucleotides. So the correct option is option C. Our next question is most abundant intracellular free nucleotide is option A UTP, option B FAD, option C NAD, option C ATP. So students, the most abundant intracellular free nucleotide is ATP. The correct option is option D. Coming to our next question. RNA does not contain option A adenine, option B hydroxymethyl cytosine, option C phosphate, option D thymine. So thymine is not present in RNA. So the correct option is option D. Our next question is lipoproteins rich in cholesterol are option A chylomicrons, option B VLDL, option C LDL, and option D HDL. So the correct option is option C. Lipoproteins which are rich in cholesterol are LDL, low density lipoproteins. Question number 121 is HDL, high density lipoprotein, is synthesized in option A adipose tissue, option B liver, option C intestine, option D liver and intestine. So the correct option is option A. HDL is basically synthesized in adipose tissue. Question number 122 is which of the following statements is not true for compounds like glycoprotein and glycolipids? Option A. They are conjugated molecules of carbohydrates. Option B. Both have role in the extracellular matrix of animals. Option C. They are components of biological membranes. Option C. Both are produced and secreted by endoplasmic reticulum. So the correct option is option D. The option D statement is not true for compounds like glycoprotein and glycolipids. Rest all are true statements. Our next question is the basic framework structure of all types of membranes are option A glycolipids, option B glycoproteins, option C lipoproteins, option D nucleoproteins. So the basic framework structure of all membranes is made up of lipoproteins. So the correct option is option C. Coming to our next question, glycosphingolipids are made up of option A sphingolipids, option B alcohol and fatty acids, option C carbohydrate and sphingolipids, and option D carbohydrates and fatty acids. So it is very obvious. Glyco means carbohydrates and sphingolipids are sphingolipids. So the correct option is option C. Glycosphingolipids are made up of carbohydrates and sphingolipids. Question number 125. The oldest mineral discovered so far is which of the following, which dates back to 4.4 billion years? Option A iron, option B cadmium, option C diamond, option D zircon. So basically zircon is the oldest mineral. So the correct option is option D. Coming to our next question. Which of the following makes protective coatings around the plant organs? Option A lipids, option B waxes, option C glycerols, option D glycolipids. So basically waxes make the protective coatings around the plant organs. The correct option is option B. Coming to our next question. Which of the following is a water soluble vitamin? Option A riboflavin, option B vitamin C, option C niacin, option D all of these. So basically all of these are the examples of water soluble vitamins. So the correct option is option D. Question number 128. In DNA molecules, adenine pairs with which of the following nucleic acid bases? Option A guanine, Option B, thiamine. Option D, cytosine. Option D, uracil. So the correct option is option B. Adenine pairs with thymine in DNA molecules. Coming to our next question. Non-toxic vitamins include which of the following? Option A, vitamin C. Option B, vitamin B. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of the above. So basically vitamin C and vitamin B both are non-toxic. So the correct option is option C, both A and B. Question number 130. Reactions in which simple substances are combined to form complex substances are called? Option A, metabolic reactions. Option B, catabolic reactions. Option C, anabolic reactions. Option D, none of these. So basically the reactions in which the simple substances are combined to form complex substances are called as anabolic reactions. So the correct option is option C. Question number 131. Which of the following is water soluble vitamin? Option A. Option B. Option C, D. Option D, K. So basically vitamin B is the water soluble vitamin. So the correct option is option B. Question number 132. The number of water soluble vitamins is option A 3, option B 6, option C 9, option D 12. So basically the water soluble vitamins are 12 in number. So the correct option is option D. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions or queries, you can write them down in the comments section. I will try to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you and share with your friends.